I knew it was something.
Hola, welcome everyone. As I warned, we are going to have some more adventures here with awesome people that we met here at the conference. If you were watching the streams earlier today, probably you met here the amiga Eveilen. Did I say it right? But not the last name. What, Eveilen what?
My last name is Roos.
Rose.
Yeah.
I wanted to host, but I got weird name.
Okay, and to make it more difficult, my married name is Agile Roos.
Agile host? I think. Did I do it well? Okay, yeah. I'm not even gonna try. I know enough of those things. But this is a part of a set of awesome experiences because we get to meet them, talk to them, and interact and share a lot of the knowledge experiences that they bring from far away. Evelyn, where do you come from?
I flew in from the Netherlands, which is
What
in
city?
Europe. I live in the south of the Netherlands, a city called Helmond, which
Helmut.
is quite a small city. It's like 100,000
Inhabitants?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And you traveled all the way towards Las Vegas,
Yes.
maybe, uh, to teach people and help and share, spread the words of Agile and modern methodologies. I admire that a lot. It's quite a journey, quite a trip, just to do that. And generally, before in these conversations, I like to get some information from my victim or the interviewed person. Uh, would you mind sharing with the people watching what's it new with you? What are you doing? What's up with you?
Yeah. So I'm Evina. I work at CB Academy, and I'm a trainer, professional Scrum trainer for Scrum.org. I also teach training from the back of the room, which is how you can become a better training. And in the talks that I've done, I use the principles from training from the back of the room to create involving and engaging sessions, trainings, workshops, conference talks, that kind of stuff.
I wish I would have seen your presentation. You were busy.
You were busy, yeah.
But
It's recorded though.
oh, let me know later. Where can I see?
Yeah.
Because like learning how to teach, it's like a very interesting skill. That's what I'm trying to do as well, and would be good if I could polish aspects of those abilities. But and it's interesting. Cydia is an organization dedicated more in the software industry and around these processes. How did you end up there? How was this transition? Because it sounds like an interesting journey, right?
It was an interesting journey. I did my bachelor's and master's in information science, working with IT, computer science. And after university, I wanted to go into information security, but not the technical part, but more on science or uh, human behavior in combination with security.
Or
Because
like social engineering?
yeah, social
stuff like
engineering. Yeah. So because you can write a very good security policy, but if your employees still write their password on a sticky note and put it on their screen, yeah, your policy is worth nothing. But I'm talking about like 20 years ago. And then there was in information security were kind of two kinds of people. There were the hackers, and you had very old people thinking of those policies. And I did not really fit into that in either categories, and it was not even happening back then. So it was not as popular as now. It was security was something that you did on the side. Now it gets a lot of focus, right? Because well, everything's connected. Well,
We wish it got better. It's
I-
better than before.
I do
give you
think
that.
it changed. It has changed. Anyway, so I wanted to do that. Did not got the opportunity. So I started as a Microsoft CRM consultant. And after a year, I thought, well, this is not what I want to do. So I again pursued my career in information security. Got to an organization where they said, well, you can try that, but we would like you to start at the very bottom technical part. So configuring networks and firewalls,
Wow.
those were the things that I had to learn about. So ICNT, 1 and 2. I did those. Um, and again, I wanted to get up there or get into the position that I wanted by starting at the very first, or the basic, or the foundation of security, which is network, firewall, configuration. Fine, I'll do that. But then at a certain moment, I got a job as a planner, an issue dispatcher, and PMO at an organization, and they were transferring from traditional Prince 2 to the agile way of working. And I was part of that transition, so from that traditional role, PMO, I got into the role of a Scrum Master. And then I thought, okay, this is nice, this is cool, this is working with people and technology. So that I was first Scrum Master of the backend team. So that I thought, okay, this is a nice combination too. And that's 13 years ago. And after that, I stuck in the agile environment. And I learned more about it. And I've always been a dance teacher as a side job. So I was used to teaching and learning kids dances. So that was always part of my things that I did. Well, it was a side job though, but at a certain moment I knew enough about Agile and Scrum to teach other people about Agile and Scrum. So I started to do that. And that's kind of how I got into the trainer slash knowledge sharer function. Kind of rolled into it.
That's very interesting because you first being PMO, that's all sort of mindset and trainings.
Yeah.
And how long were you in that role?
I think at that year,
You didn't have enough time for that to really sink in because that's
grow on me.
yeah. I think that's a big danger when people try to move from PMO into Agile. You say that it's 3D and it was like, oh my god, this is great.
Yeah.
But whoever hasn't grown on them, the PMO side, is like, oh, they
Yeah.
have to. And it's super. It was super funny when you mentioned like, it was cool for you.
Yeah.
What were the main things attractive for you with that transition?
The main thing that I thought was very important that in the agile way of working or Scrum, it's more about the people, the individuals, giving them autonomy. While before it was we have a roadmap, we have a Gantt chart, we have to execute this plan, and okay, great that the customer has the wishes, but just let's wait until the next release to incorporate them. So I think the flexibility and that it's about the human beings doing it. I think that was the most attractive or most fun for me.
It's a big difference, as you say. It's human beings in the team instead of resources.
Yeah.
For PMO.
Yeah.
I remember it was a interesting balance in that. And so you were already used to teach dance, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And how the side of teaching and sharing this goes. You were already like into technology, into processes, agile, dance classes on the side, but the pedagogical side of things. Where? How did that happen?
Yeah, so teaching a dance class, you can compare it to teaching a new way of working. Like, and it's repeating. It's first in dance. You first explain the steps. Then you do it slowly without music. Then you do it fast on music, and then you let them do it themselves.
What
That's how
type of
you.
dance?
Well, it was the dance that you kind of see at the like Beyonce has their background dancers. That
Okay.
kind of dance.
Choreography.
Yeah, choreography. And for small kids, it's like something that you know.
Regional dance or things.
Yeah, like you have the TV shows from for children. They have a nice song, and we would have a dance on that.
The Barney songs. I love you.
For instance, yeah, something like that. Yeah, but usually in Dutch, of course, because that's the kids understand. And so you have these certain steps how you can teach a dance to someone or to a kid. And I do think that resembles kind of how we teach or how we transform or how we do agile transformations. Actually, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but
I see some analogies.
you can identify some steps in it, right? So, and you teach them how to do it, and then they have to do it themselves, or you explain how, or you take them along every step, every count, take them along, and then they have to do it.
What counts?
Yeah, you know what?
Step count?
Yeah, step count. Yeah.
Do you still have? Did you also have that? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and you jump 4 for a reason. I don't know. Is that?
Yeah,
I think
and like
is that universal?
yes,
Wow.
yeah, and well, for salsa you have a different. You have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Cool.
different rhythms is also a good analogy, right? Different dances, different organizations, different rhythms, different styles.
I love that analogy.
So-
I didn't think about it because one places it could be like Beyonce, the other is salsa.
Exactly,
We're
yeah.
trap, and
Yeah.
your organization is different. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome analogy. And I'm taking notes like try it first without music, then little by little, suck at dancing. I really need to improve that.
Yeah.
But not well. Maybe agile is the same. But and so once you are with Civia and you are starting to apply your skills for teaching people, how are things in there? What are you? Because um, they have here an awesome playbook for the Scrum Master. It's like a children's book, and I love that. When I saw it, I'm like, oh my god, this is so awesome. So I have so many questions behind that. How all this happened, and
Yeah.
what's the story behind it? Because you are part of the authors,
Yes.
co-author of them.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, so when I started at Civia, I did consultancy. So I was agile coach or agile transformation consultant, or I should call it scrum master. But whatever you call it, I was helping organizations to become more agile, to do the agile way of working. And I always combine that with teaching or teaching classes, like scrum master, product owner, agile leadership, that kind of stuff. But when you're also doing consulting, it's difficult to do both
Balance, yeah.
because you have a great customer, but I also want to teach. So that's 2 days of a week. And the customer is like, well, but we have this very important meeting. Well, I cannot be there because I am training. So it's difficult, it's challenging. And when are you going to prepare? You don't want to prepare in your customers' billable
Billable
hours. So when do you do it? At night or in the weekend? So 3 years ago, I started a CD Academy, which is full focus on training, teaching, doing conference talks, and writing content. So I now have the space to prepare for a training, to go to conferences like this, because we want to share our knowledge. And I don't have to worry about that customer, those customers where I do consulting. I just have focus on the teaching part or the knowledge sharing part, I should say. And because I have time, because I don't teach 5 days a week, that's impossible. Or for me, that's impossible. It's quite exhausting. Um, so the time in between I use for LinkedIn posts, writing content, preparing for a conference, and going to conferences. So I have I have the balance and I have the time to do these things that I also think are because they usually get like consultancy. If you're also doing consultancy, those are the things that are pushed away. Because hey, you need to make billable hours instead of versus share. You need to be billable. So I'm very happy that this has been since 3 years. I've been at CBA for almost 9 years. So very happy there. And I got this great opportunity to do what I love.
Yeah, and for I can tell you excel in that. That's I can see passion
Thank you.
in your eyes, in your words. But and as well, it caught my attention. Like 3 years ago, and we know what happened 3 years ago. Does it have to do any lockdowns or all the situation, or was just like it happened then?
It happened then. I'm happy that my last consultancy job was with an organization when the pandemic hits. So I did get the experience of having online teams and how to collaborate with them and what the struggles were. Um, so happy, well, not happy that the pandemic
No, no,
happened, but I'm
none of
happy that
us.
I got that experience. Just as happy that I was that I had this waterfall experience and to transition to the agile way of working. Because a lot of people, like the young people, if you ask who knows what waterfall is, who knows? Because they have
Gladly
never
not. I'm happy for them.
and they have not experienced that. And I'm happy that I got both experiences. So yeah, I can take that experience along. And that it started 3 years ago, it was not because of the pandemic. But
Sounds like it kind of helped. I mean, when the lockdowns, the pandemic, that you said that you were at a customer, your last customer, uh, the last consultant, project effort, whatever. I'm sure that some changes came from the pandemic. Some of these things that you got to experience, how to work with the teams, how to get all this. It's a it's tough because I wouldn't say happily pandemic that was awesome, but there were good things that came out of that, and I think in some sort of weird ways
yeah,
that this came up.
yeah, there are a few things that were good, or not good, but that we figured out
Good
how we
outcomes.
could yeah, how we could do that. I think one of the things is if you would have asked me 4 years ago, can you do an online training? Can you do a 2 day online training? I would have said no, never.
Please
That's
no.
not possible. But of course, we were being forced into finding creative solutions, or how can you engage people when you're 8 hours behind the screen? Um, so I think we learned how to cope with that. In Netherlands, everybody's back to the office again, so we hardly teach online trainings anymore. If I think about the balance, it's like 90% is in person and 10% is virtual. And I think virtual is great if you have people abroad or if you have team members all over the world. Then I would say, okay, do a virtual session so you can all be together in a training. But if you have the possibility, I would say always go for the in-person session. But that's something that we learned. We can mimic or you can try as best as we can to make it a good and valuable training. So I think that's one of the things that we learned. Another good outcome of the pandemic is, I think, people having more freedom to work from home.
Yeah, the remote work enabled and teached a lot of people a lot of things.
Yeah,
Most, many of the people that I know in our environment were already used to remote work, but when it hit everyone, was like, how can you handle this? Like, and we already had the knowledge, the understanding
yeah.
around those things and the learnings that you got from those experiences and that you explained here. Which ones would you say are the most critical or important? I know at times it's hard to kind of like put them on a line for teams that are remote, trying agile, trying to get into it.
I think the most important thing for hybrid teams or online teams or teams that have people from abroad is the connection. So I think during the pandemic and after the pandemic, I've heard a lot of people that said, "Well, I'm working fully remote. I've never seen the office. I've never seen my team members." Um, and I think, but how is that? How is that possible? You want to know who you're dealing with, and you want to know who you can count on. You want to know how they look, not how they feel or smell, but
It's part of the no,
it's
no,
part of the experience. Yeah, you just want to know them. So what I do always recommend is it's great if you have people from Portugal, if you have people from London, if you have people from Amsterdam, all working together in these virtual teams. But please spend some time together. Have like I heard another organization that said, well, we're flying in our people from all around the world every quarter. So every quarter we have that time together. We spend one day doing fun stuff. We spend 3 days doing work, and then they have one day off to have fun. And I think that's really important. Um,
In our organization, there's something like that, like those recommendations. Grafana and K6 are companies from Sweden. And in Sweden, there's this fika tradition to have some bread and coffee. And they did like just like a cyber e-fika or whatever you want to call it. Every here and then, a bot will pair you up with someone in the team, like, hey, schedule a meeting, 30 minutes, talk to each other, become friends. Because it's really important. I do agree with you. You don't feel that isolated or far from what is the situation. And they are not just names in the list, they are people to you.
They're people,
Co-workers, right?
Yeah.
And now moving on a little bit on the book, I quickly want to cover a few questions. What's the deal with the book? I'm super curious.
Yeah. So I've been working at Toshiba for 9 years, and we recently, someone I know also got to work at Toshiba, and this person Sjoerd, who's the other author of the book, he already has loads of good ideas that he wants to pour into a book. And I said, okay, I want to join. So I joined him in creating the book. It's a book for Scrum Masters or facilitators or anyone who does something with teams, team members. And it tells you how you can make your work more energizing, more active, more fun, more playful. And so we collected numerous plays, and that's my playbook, that you can use to facilitate sessions with your team.
To improve those relationships. And
Yeah.
I think it's super. As soon as I saw it, it's like a book for kids, but for grown-ups.
Yes, it is for
love
grown-ups.
The template for anyone I have seen here, the Scrum Master Playbook by Sjoerd Vigeland,
Nederland? Yes.
and Eveilen Roos.
Yes.
Roos. Yeah, gonna keep butchering. Where can people find the book? How can we get them? I'm drooling for having it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna give you this one, and I'm gonna send you a link how to order it.
Okay, yes, because I'm sure more people, and I would highly recommend everyone, if you can get fun groups, way interesting ways and appealing ways to learn all these things, those are the best. And I'm super happy that you did. Like, I saw the drawings and all the cartoons and exercises. I'm like, this is my type of book.
Yeah.
Right away.
Well, Shoot is very creative, so the drawings and the selection of images, that's all him. And I tried to chip in where I could. So adding the brain science from training from the back of the room, getting Sharon Bowman to write a short introduction for it, or actually it's on the back side, so it's not an introduction. So I added some things, but main author is Sjoerd, and I just tried to help him.
No, I think it's an awesome endeavor, and everyone look it up. We're gonna post the links how to get it, and I'm super happy. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
that's
much.
yours. See?
I'm gonna be reading so much flying back home.
Enjoy it.
No, I am totally gonna devour it. And well, not only that, you're also here as speaker. We're already kind of in the ramp down. We're already like close to the end, but you didn't do only a talk. You were super active here. So you did 2 talks.
Yes.
No tutorial, right?
No.
Just 2 talks in the same day.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. One was before lunch, one was after lunch, and
Right after that, she's here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Superwoman.
And I did one together with Roos.
So the first talk, what was it about?
First talk was the power of personal engagement. How can you create more involving, interactive Scrum events by using nonverbal behavior or by observing nonverbal behavior and using the brain science principles from training from the back of the room. So
which principles are not familiar?
So we have 6 training for the back of the room is a method how you can become a better trainer. So we teach how you can make your learners learn better, how do they digest information, and how can you maximize the learning. That's what training for the back of the room is about. And so it's not about teacher, no, it's about your students, it's about your learners, and a lot of these things that are from training from the back of the room are based upon neuroscience. So that works in every situation because that's how the brain works. It's not just for training, it's also for Scrum events, it's also for conference talks, and you can even use it in interview settings or video or television.
I'm already thinking how to apply it here. I'm so sad that I missed that talk. I'm really curious now
We'll
about
probably get another shot, hopefully, sometime, yeah. And using those brain science principles, like and there are six. So there's movement over sitting, there's talking over listening, there's shorter over longer, there's images over words, there is
there are two more.
yeah, there are two more. I just
No
lost
worry,
them.
no,
I've
no,
been
no.
talking
It's
so
been a
much
long day. Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah. I totally understand. We will research and try to.
Yeah. So there are six, and using those six brain science principles in anything that you do helps you to create more effective meetings, more interactive uh, Scrum events, yeah, like your sprint retrospective. How can you do that better? But also for the conference talks that I've given, I use those principles to keep the people engaged for 60 minutes. It's not me talking for 60 minutes about how we should do it. No, it's people learning a little bit and then applying it, actually doing something with that
Is it
knowledge.
like a dynamic?
It was very dynamic. Yeah. So I think in a session, I would talk like in total for maybe 20 minutes,
Oh,
and then let the people do something with the knowledge that they gained.
so that's the secret. That's how she manages to do many talks in a day.
Yeah, because I'm just it's training from the back of the room or yeah, conference talk from the back of the room.
I like that. Very much want to learn that. And the second one?
The second one was similar. It's called How to Use Brain Science to Boost Your Scrum Events. And if you set up a training or a training session, you use a structure. It's called the 4Cs, starting with connections, then concepts, concrete, practice, and closing. That's how we set up a training. And we use those 4Cs also to create better Scrum events. So you start with a connection, connecting people to each other or to the topic. Then you what is the core or what are concepts that you need to cover, like really essential things, and then do something with it. So the concrete practice, concrete action, and then you have a closing. And you can use that structure that we use for setting up training also to in your Scrum events.
It's very much like a story arc, like you are like building,
Yeah,
what are
building
we going
up
to be
something.
talking,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
applying it and then closing. It's like
Yeah.
it makes total sense. And now I want to learn as well about that because as soon as I'm hearing this, I can apply this here, I can apply that, blah, blah, blah. Because I think it's not useful only for presenters, right? Everyone in their daily lives
Yes.
can apply.
Yeah, because that brain science works. Yeah, it's how your brain works. So the authors like Sharon Bowman and John Medina, they have taken the neuroscience, like very complicated information, and they've poured it into something that's understandable. And that's what we try to convey to other people. And because it's based on the actual setup for how your brain is made, it works in all kinds of different situations. So John Medina, for instance, one of the authors of a book about neuroscience, he also has a book about how the brain of kids work. So if you're a dad or a mom, that's very useful information because the brains are, well, on
A
average.
little bit different than adults' brains.
Yeah,
You
but on
gotta-
average, they are for a lot of kids they are the same. Of course, you have
neurodiversity.
neurodiversity, so that might be a little bit different. But on average, the brain works the same.
And on those ages, neuroplasticity is like crazy.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different on how the adult brain works. So then Joe Medina wrote a review about that. So very interesting read.
I never like. I know that you can create this crazy effect mixing many techniques, agile, neuroscience,
Mhm.
teaching, dancing. I'm sure you probably mix up a little bit of that.
Mhm.
How to put everything together into something super special.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing, and I am again super sad that I couldn't attend those talks. But if anyone follows her ever and finds her doing a talk, absolutely, it sounds like it's worth it. I am.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of opportunities coming up in the.
Yeah, please share. What's coming up with you?
What's coming up? So when we are back in the Netherlands, 2 days after we will be at Scrum Day London.
Okay.
I think a week after we're doing a free online Scrum Master
Gratis.
Summit. Yes. So you can join that. It's virtual. Scrum Day
Oh.
London is in person. The online Scrum Master Summit is virtual. You can get a free pass. Very interesting talks.
Take notes. I actually gonna search it.
It's very nice. I will be doing keynote. Roos Marijn will also be there doing a session. Again, virtual facilitation and skills and techniques. And after that, it's Scrum Day Stuttgart to Germany.
Oh wow, you're gonna be busy.
I know, yeah.
Really
And
cool.
when I then return, I have some training to do. So also have to.
Yeah, keep up the skills and
Yeah. Well, I have to teach the training, so and I also have to do some
Wow.
work.
yeah, it's not only the road, right? Sadly, you have to go back to
Yeah.
the real life. This is awesome, and so many things that you are doing. If anyone wants to follow up with you or get in touch, where can people find you?
The easiest way is on LinkedIn. So if you search for Eveilen Roos or Agile&DevOps West, you can find me there. You can follow me on TikTok. We have
You have a TikTok?
yes.
Oh wow.
It's called Scrum Boosters. And on Instagram, we also have Scrum Boosters.
Okay,
So-
check it out. TikTok people, I'm not in there. I haven't been able to or read reasons. But Instagram, TikTok, take a look. That's awesome. Those mediums of teaching people, I think it's incredible that you explore some others.
Trying to, yeah. It's not the best, but hey, we're trying. I'm already old, so give me a break.
No, you're in TikTok. That's not old. That's impressive. And I'm super happy that you came and gave us this interview, this sharing all this experience, knowledge, and I'm wow, blasted. I look forward to other opportunities. Let's see if we can catch up. But Eveilen, thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
It has been a blast. I really enjoy it. And everyone watching, this was Eveilen, awesome person, presenter, instructor, dancer, I'm guessing. Cool. And but I think that seeing the activity that Agile and DevOps West is already not on the ramp down, they already ramped it down. It's done. So this may be the last one. I often say that. I hope. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But this has been, or may have been, Agile and DevOps West 2023 in Las Vegas, with Eveilen closing up these sessions and talks and interviews. Thank you very much again, Eveilen.
Thank you for having me.
And with that, el señor Performo out. Adiós. And I'll see you again soon.
Adios.